Hey, hello, you amazing person. If you're like me, you probably know the feeling of failure. You probably know what it feels like to be denied your goals and hate the feeling that follows. You probably know what it feels like to not hack that machine you've been trying to hack all week or all month, even. You probably know what it feels like to not find any vulnerabilities after you've been hunting for weeks, for months, for days, for hours. It doesn't matter. You know what it feels like to not pass your OSCP exam on your first try, which you cannot stand. You know what it feels like to not pass at least one very major exam that you really wanted to pass on your first try. And those feelings, they're normal. And I want to talk to you about how you can handle them a little bit, at least how I handle them. So, first of all, it's very important that you understand that it's okay to feel sad and down at times. It's okay to fail. This might seem very obvious. A lot of people probably know this, but please don't underestimate this, guys. Think back to the last time you failed an exam and how you felt then. I bet you were pretty freaking miserable and everything but okay. Now, that being said, I'm sure you drew a lesson from that instance, and I'm sure it made you into a better person. I hope you can see that every failure which leads to a lesson being learned is not a failure after all. It's just an experience for you, something that you have to go through. That, my dear viewer, that is the essence of learning for me. We have to make mistakes in order to understand what we should and should not do. Because, let's be honest here, it's not easy to explain every little detail of a process to another person. What we know is known to us. We often cannot explain all of the things that we feel and we touch and experience. Try to explain a color to your neighbor. Try to explain the color blue to somebody who's blind. We cannot do that. And I say this because I want to illustrate that our language often falls short of what we are trying to express. That's why it's so important that we all make our own mistakes in our own safe environment. Those failures, they lead from mistakes, and that's okay. Every single mistake that you make is okay as long as you get back up. I hope this helps you see that failure is not something that we should try to shy away from, or that we should actively try to avoid even, but that we can make an equally big mistake by not learning anything from mistakes and failures, and an even bigger mistake by not allowing ourselves to feel bad about it if that's what our brain needs, guys. If your brain has to feel bad at the moment, feel bad about it. Now, there's a lot to unpack in that statement, so let's start at the beginning. For me, it doesn't even matter how often I fall. That's very important for me. I realized very quickly that falling is just a part of life, but getting up is an even bigger one. We have to face our mistakes and we have a moral obligation to ourselves to do what's right. This means that we will feel bad at times. Not gonna lie here. It's a moral obligation to do what's good, what's right, not to do what feels good. Those are two very different things. So this means that if we feel bad, if we feel disgusted by ourselves, even because we haven't hacked a week or we haven't found any bugs in a month, that's okay. Life is a roller coaster, guys, and believe me, I believe that we should sit back and enjoy the ride. I don't think that we can control this one. This means that when our motivation is peaking and we feel on top of the world, that I also take full advantage of those good times, of course, by preparing myself for the times when I feel down a bit. Of course, I have my responsibilities. I have my YouTube channel that I want to keep growing. That's very important to me. I also have my hacking and my learning that I still want to keep on doing. So I prepare things that are easy, that I can do easily. And I also prepare videos on days that I feel bad and that I feel good. I mean, of course, for when I feel bad. So that I always have at least one backup plan to release to you guys. For when things are just not going my way. That happens quite a lot. So feeling bad is okay. I keep saying the word okay. I want to repeat this because it's very important that You shouldn't feel bad about feeling bad. That's only going to draw you into a very vicious circle. So please allow yourself some breathing room. You're performing at the world's top, in my opinion. Hacking requires knowledge from so many different fields. It's a wonder that there are even people like you out there. And even if you're not a hacker, the fact you're watching this video means that you're looking for self-improvement, and that is amazing in and of itself. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, guys. I want to devote a part of this piece as well to your worst enemy in your life. So it may seem a little bit cliche to you guys, and of course it is, but I am a firm believer of the fact that we are our own worst enemies in every sense of the word. We can hold back ourselves with just a thought. How crazy is that? If we feel like we are on top of the world, there is nothing that can stop us. But one piece of bad news, it can suddenly ruin that streak out of nowhere, even if you completely don't expect it. At the moment, you might feel like you're the king of the world and you can take anything, but there might be this one piece of bad news that completely destroys it all. So don't fight that. Don't fight that moment, guys. Go with the flow, you amazing person. It's like if you fight that, you're fighting the flow of time. There is nothing in the laws of physics that stops time from flowing backwards. Yet, we can never make it flow backwards. It's funny, don't you think? You don't always have control over everything, and that's okay. Now, I want to leave you guys with a final message. In life, we all walk our own roads, but that doesn't mean we have to walk it alone. It doesn't mean we have to fall and that we have to get ourselves up every single time. You have friends in your life, you have family in your life, and if you don't, at this moment I am offering you a place you can call home. This place is full of hackers, but I promise you that we are good and you have nothing to fear from us. Define your own normal. Link will be in the description below. It's a Discord server. Uncle Red out. You guys are freaking amazing and I hope you have a great day. Bye everybody.